guys, when I was younger, guess what? I moved around a lot. I've lived in a lot of different states, lots of different cities. I even attended a few different schools. I've been public schooled. I've been homeschooled for a year. I've been private schooled for a year. And in each state, in every city, all the different schools, I had to make a new group of friends. Every time I had to go through a season of loneliness, that season of awkwardness, and it was hard because for a long time I didn't feel like I ever really fit in anywhere. Don't get me wrong, I made all sorts of friends, but because I just expected to move again, I never felt like I belonged to any one group. I was experiencing something that I didn't like at all. It's something that we all experience, and it's something hard to get used to. I was experiencing change. And that's what we're talking about in this series. We're talking about change. Whether you're in high school or middle school, I'm sure you all are familiar with change. Let's just be honest. There's things that are true about change. Some change is awesome. Some change is awful. And like it or not, change happens. Lastly, when it comes to change, everyone's affected. As uncomfortable as change is, here's the good news. We're going to talk about something today that has the potential to be a game changer for us when it comes to the way we view change. When you open the pages of the Bible and read from the writers God used to tell his story, you'll see that they too struggled with the idea of change. Many of them wrestled with the question of how they could trust God when their lives seemed to be a constant series of unwanted and unexpected changes. But over and over again, the writers in the Bible who were dealing with so much change kept coming back to the same truth. The book of Hebrews is a letter written to the Christians who were learning how to follow Jesus in their Jewish way of living in the world. Now, a lot of people think this letter was written to Jewish Christians living in Jerusalem who were facing persecution, which means they were being bullied and threatened to be killed for their spiritual beliefs. Now, because of that, much of the book of Hebrews focuses on who Jesus is and how following him was not just a good idea, but the best idea. No matter how bad things get, we want to follow Jesus. So who's Jesus? The author of Hebrews says this: Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. To put it even more plainly, Jesus never changes. He's always the same. Jesus doesn't change even if everything around us does. It means when everything around us feels unstable, Jesus isn't. Have you ever seen a huge tree? What is it that keeps that tree in the ground? The tree's secured into the ground and holds steady in its place because of its roots. With all the change happening around it, with all the storms and the bad weather or even good weather, it'd be easy to think the tree would fall down and give up, but it doesn't. It's rooted in place no matter what change happens around it. That's what an unchanging God does for us. That's who Jesus is for us. He keeps us rooted and stable. When we're focused on him, the one who never changes, we're able to stay steady and secure like a tree that's unshakable and unbreakable when everything around us feels unsteady and insecure. No matter what happens in our life, no matter what change we're facing, we can count on the one who never changes. We can be rooted in God. God doesn't change, even if things are unpredictable or out of your control. God's ability to hold the whole world together never changes. Even if things will never be the same because of death, permanent injury, or health issues, God's availability to hear your prayers never changes. Even if what lies ahead is exciting because you made the team, or you beasted the audition, or you aced that driver's test, the amount of God's love for you never changes. Even if what lies ahead is new territory, like transitioning schools or graduating or starting a new job, God's promise to be with you through it all never changes. Even if what lies ahead is scary, God's reliability to stead you never changes. So the next time you experience change in your life, and you definitely will, you don't have to be uprooted by insecurity, fear, or frustration. Instead, you can remain steady and stable by staying rooted in an unchanging God, Jesus Christ. To help you do that, I want you to try just one thing. I want you to remember. I want you to remember a time that God was faithful to you in the past. I want you to remember a time that you felt God's love in your life. I want you to remember a time you saw God's goodness. If if God was faithful or committed to you in that circumstance or season of your life before, then you can stay rooted in the belief that He will be faithful again after. If this is hard for you, just think about a time in your life something really good happened. Just write that down and remember it. Or ask your life group leader to share a story like that from their own life. Wouldn't it be nice to have something unchangeable that you can focus on and trust even when things around you change? Jesus doesn't change even if. That's an incredible thing to remember, guys. He was the same before and He'll be the same after.